How you doing? Welcome to Thrive and Talks with Anthony. Today we're going to be having an insightful conversation. Our conversation today is going to be about understanding emotional intelligence and how it impacts your relationships. It's essential because high intelligence helps individuals recognize and manage their own emotions and understand others' feelings, leading to greater empathy and conflict resolution. In professional settings, it can boost teamwork, leadership effectiveness, and overall work harmony. Ultimately, EI or emotional intelligence contributes to personal well-being and success in both your personal life and professional spaces. So it enhances your interpersonal skills, improves communication, and fosters better relationships. So overall, this is going to really help you be a really dynamic individual. And how I'm able to kind of comprehend emotional intelligence is, let me give you a little illustration, right? So let's just say there's 5 people in a room, maybe 25 or even 100 people. You're a dynamic person where you're able to walk into that room, not just make impact, but just be able to resonate with the people in the room, understand what they're feeling, what they're going through, and be able to have effective communication as you're engaging with these individuals. So I also want to be able to include this. So tune in. Did you know that 90% of top professionals in the workplace have high emotional intelligence? And it's not just about your IQ or technical skills, it's about how you understand and manage our emotions and how we connect with others. Imagine transforming your relationships, not just with your personal, but your professional as well, by simply enhancing your emotional intelligence. Today, we're going to dive into some strategies to improve your communication, resolve some conflicts, deepen your connections, and boost your success in life. So please tune in, please tune in, please tune in. Right? So what is emotional intelligence? For those out there, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions while also recognizing, understanding, and influencing the emotions of others. So for me, I believe that someone that is really influential in the school systems is someone like Martin Luther King. Well, I always say that you don't have to be Martin Luther King Jr. to be a role model. Our actions and our behaviors impact others as well, right? So take in consideration that you're a powerful individual, and that you got to be aware of how you impact others by your actions and your behaviors. So having some components I'm going to be able to dive into, but let's just talk about one is self-awareness. Another one is self-regulation. Another one is motivation, empathy, and social skills. So we're going to be diving into each of these components that tie into understanding the essence of emotional intelligence. So one component that we're going to start off with, like I said, is self-awareness. So recognizing one's own emotions and its effects. So for example, recognizing feelings of frustration and its impact. We know that we all have our moments when we're frustrated, we're angry about whatever that may be, but just understanding the impact that it may be taking on other people. So allowing for better decision making and understanding one's impact on others. So having the self-awareness of emotional intelligence is being really in tune with yourself, being able to recognize what you're feeling and figuring out alternatives to kind of get yourself into a better state of mind so that you have better outcomes. So make sure you're self-aware. Number 2, I find that self-regulation is key. The ability to manage one's emotions or impulses. For example, taking a moment to breathe before responding to a heated meeting or an argument or a conversation. I want to give an example. I've witnessed many times, playing basketball where things spiral out of control over one play, whether it's on a street ball or just, we play in the official game. And I find that it's really respectful when you're able to just listen to the person, let them shoot for the ball, or just, give them the ball and, check it up and keep the play going. But just being able to self-regulate yourself in heated situations, and figure out alternatives to get the best outcomes as possible without there being violence or getting things too out of hand. So being able to self-regulate yourself. So taking a moment to, like I said, breathe and rationalize the circumstance for the best outcome as possible. This can also help maintain control during stressful situations when it comes to understanding emotional intelligence. So really, like I said, having that self-awareness and being able to regulate yourself with the self-awareness. Number 3, I want to be able to include motivation. Motivation is really important because it harnesses emotions to pursue goals with energy and persistence. For example, a team member experiencing or impacting other people which is basically inspiring others with enthusiasm for like a project, for instance. So encouraging or encouragement helps you have like positive attitude, to be able to navigate yourself through any circumstance and make positive impact. So I found that 3 things that I align with motivation are discipline, sacrifice, and God. And when you put all those things together, that motivation will be harnessed. Number 4 is empathy, understanding and sharing the feelings of others. For example, listening actively to a friend's struggle and validating their feelings. So when you're actively listening, you're able to rephrase what they're saying, you're nodding, you're really engaged, you're present, and this fosters a deeper connection and effective communication when you're presently there. Number 6 is social skills. So understanding emotional intelligence impacts your social skills. Skills are used to determine and communicate, and this is how we interact with others, so in an effective way. So social skills are very important. For example, networking and managing professional relationships, right? So this is essential. This is important because it's important for building relationships and teamwork. So all of these things are great attributes that tie into understanding emotional intelligence. How does this role affect our personal relationships, right, in our lives or your life perhaps? So improved communication is one, right? Emotional intelligence leads to clear and more constructive conversations. So a tip I'll be able to include into this video is practice expressing emotions calmly and clearly, right? So make sure you have the right tone, make sure that you have your thoughts kind of listed out, you have that clear communication and you're able to deliver that in an appropriate manner. The next is conflict resolution, right? How it regulates to emotional intelligence is it helps facilitate understanding and compromise. A tip for approach is approach conflicts with the mindset of understanding different perspectives. We all come from different situations. The way that your mother, your father, whoever was able to raise you is very different than my family or the next person, right? But just be able to have a mind of positivity in addition to understanding will help us to navigate different perspectives and conversation for conflict resolution. Number 3 would be building trust and connection. Trust is a big thing, but within time and with a positive mindset, that connection can be made, right? So emotional intelligence helps foster deeper connection and trusting relationships, like I said, within time. So a tip to be able to facilitate building trust and connection is show empathy and be open to conversations. Try your best not to be standoffish. Try your best not to be too judgmental. Try your best to be empathetic and understanding so that conversations could be very useful, beneficial, and not just for yourself, but for other people around. I want to also include into this video not just about how things will affect our personal life and relationships, but also our professional lives. How when we're out there working with people out there in the field, how can emotional intelligence benefit us in our working lives, our professional lives, right? Number 1, I'll start off with leadership, right? Emotional intelligence helps motivate and inspires teams. For example, a leader who listens to feedback and adapts accordingly. This individual is someone that's able to take the criticism but actively uses it to improve, right? I know criticism is something that we all don't like because people tell us what to do or making us feel bad. It's an uncomfortable feeling, but we need to be uncomfortable to then get comfortable, right? And the process of growth is it's an uncomfortable feeling sometimes. So being able to have that leadership mindset, motivating yourself through that, and then being able to take that criticism for that active feedback, and adapting accordingly to have the best outcome. Number 2 is team dynamics. Understanding emotional intelligence helps enhance collaboration and that connection. So tips I want to be able to include is create a culture where emotional expression is encouraged. So when you're at work, you want to be able to make people feel heard, seen, felt, and I want you to be able to have the essence of creating that emotional expression for people to feel connected, and respected in their team dynamic. Number 3 is feedback and performance. So understanding emotional intelligence helps improve the feedback that is given and received. For example, offering constructive criticism while maintaining a positive tone. So this is a part of the workforce where we're trying to improve our working environment. So being able to let people speak, and actively looking for ways to improve with solutions, right? Making sure you're actively advocating for yourself. I always tell people to speak up, because anybody know what's going on inside your head. You have a unique brain, a unique mind, and a unique, you know, self, you know, so you got to be able to express your needs. So let's move on to practical tips to enhance emotional intelligence. What are some ways that we can actively start moving towards emotional intelligence and, you know, gaining some insight? So let's talk about the tips. So a tip I want to start off with is self-reflection practices. I emphasize a lot about journaling and meditating to improve self-awareness. When you're writing things down, whether it's you having a good day or a bad day, just being able to be actively aware and, you know, tuning into being present and writing down your thoughts can really be beneficial. And the meditation is just to get yourself in a calm, collected area where you're able to just kind of isolate and just kind of reflect, right? Number two would be actively listening. And you can do these within exercises. Practicing summarizing what someone else said to ensure understanding. Comprehension is key, and it shows the other person that, you know, you're listening to them, and everything that they're saying is in a sense being validated, you know, by your presence. So I want to make sure that we're actively listening. Moving on to the next is going to be empathy building activities. So some tips could be engaging in volunteer work or perspectives taking exercises. Some of these could be role reversal, literature and film, telling stories within sessions, and then empathy mapping. So different activities you can do to really develop the activities that are regulated towards empathy. Because I know some people, they may have a difficulty with that, but there's always a way of trying to make yourself have a better understanding, so you understand what other people are feeling out there, so you have that better awareness and you have that better way of connecting with people throughout your life and throughout different environments, whether in your personal or your professional. Number four, I want to be able to include emotional regulation techniques, which is very important. Using breathing exercises or mindfulness exercises when it comes to moments of stress, right? And to manage your stress. Like I said, there's gonna be some times in life where in general where you're going to be frustrated, you know, you may be sad, you may be feeling these different emotions, but just being able to regulate that, being in a calm and being in a respectful, having a respectful tone when you're conversating with people and regulating that is very important. So once again, I want to include those breathing exercises and mindfulness activities that are going to be able to help you out. So overall, when it comes to this video, you know, I'm hoping like this was able to benefit you. We talked about a lot of things about understanding emotional intelligence. Like I said, emotional intelligence helps individuals recognize and manage their emotions and understand feelings and other people's feelings, right? Leading to greater empathy and conflict resolution. As discussed, all practical tips are aimed to improve your communication, resolve conflicts, deepen connections, and boost your life success. So overall, I hope like these video was able to really benefit you, and you guys got some great attributes when it comes to understanding emotional intelligence. I want you guys to be able to walk into any room and be the people that you are, the individual that you are, and I want you to shine bright. But how can you shine bright if you don't understand what's going around you and how other people are going around you? So hopefully you guys were able to pick up some of the tips. And if you have any other tips, please put that in the comment area. But as of right now, I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.